Welcome back to the shop, everybody. Welcome back to the GC8 build. If you don't know me, my name is Andrew. This is my garage here in Maple Ridge, British Columbia. We're working on my 1999 JDM GC8 Impreza STI WRX, whatever. It's not much of any of that anymore. It is getting an IAG closed deck 2.5 that I bought out of a wreck and a Link ECU. It's got a 6-speed in it now. It's got a one-piece drive shaft, STI axles. It's got DBA gravel rotors and brakes, and it's gonna be a weapon. I'm really excited. I have 6 days to get this car done and ready to go to get tuned and dynoed at Boost Barn Motorsports in Langley, British Columbia. The last pieces of the puzzle have showed up this week. I have my harness from iWire with a DC-CD controller and an AEM wideband setup. I have a cob intake. I've got a Mishimoto inlet pipe. I've got a clutch, a flywheel. I've got a whole bunch of stuff to install, and we're gonna get it all done this weekend. So I'm gonna stop talking and I'm gonna get to work. And well, I guess you're just gonna have to follow along. If you like what you see here, please take a second to go down and hit the subscribe button. Stick around at the end of the video, leave a comment, leave a like. It's been a whole lot of fun, and there's a whole lot more in store. So without further ado, I'm gonna get to work. All right, guys, I don't really have much room to lay it out, to lay this out all elegantly, and I don't really have time to, but I will explain. This is an iWire merged harness. So what they do is they take your harness that you send in, and if you have a donor harness, for like if you're putting a USDM motor in a JDM car, a JDM motor in a USDM car, or doing a turbo swap in an NA car, they do wiring for everything Subaru. Chances are if you need it done, they can wire your car for you. Let them know what you need. In this case, I added on DC-CD and wideband O2. And I also got them to wire me in a fuel pump controller because they need that for running an 04 STI ECU. iWire does a really good job with all of it. They go through everything. They give you all new connectors for everything they add on, as well as they added on the nice plastic shroud. They give it a build number. They sent along a bunch of stickers and stuff. They label everything for you that you need. They also direct you to their website where they have lots of instructions on everything. It's really trick stuff. I'm really stoked. This is not going to take very long to put in. I'm going to be using a lot of zip ties and a lot of clips and stuff to hold it all together because I don't have an interior in the car. I don't know if I'm going to put the HVAC back in just yet, but I do want to get all the wiring in and get it kind of secure and ready to put everything back in. So we're gonna work on that right now. All right, well, things haven't really gone to plan. Wiring is kind of in the car. I know it looks like a mess, but everything is sort of hooked up. Hey guys, so it's Sunday morning. Friday night I stayed up basically till 6 a.m. Working down here, putting
working down here and putting out an episode, and then I ran into a snag with the wiring because I was finishing up tying everything off and plugging in, and I went to plug in where the gauge cluster harness would be from here to here, and the harness is gone. I don't know where it went. Check back in all my photos. I do have a photo of it on July 25th sitting on my seat after I pulled all the rest of the wiring out. After that, no idea. It wasn't in the box for iWire because it wasn't in the pictures that I sent. I don't know. It's gone, and it like sidelined me. I went like bananas trying to find it, and I'm really like, when that kind of thing happens, I just get really focused on trying to find something, and it's like I can't concentrate on anything else. So it really slowed me down. I had to extend a couple of looms for the HVAC. This one here that's just 2 wires, and then there's one that goes up on this side. There's one that goes up on this side that's 5 wires, so I cut and sectioned and soldered them. And it's this guy here. I had to cut that one and extend it by about 7 inches, and that one I put about 5 inches on. I could have routed the iWire harness like around the front of this and done all that, but it would have been tight with everything, just wouldn't have been good. So I tried to make it proper. Just like, yeah, I'm not in good motivational spirits right now. This like it kind of took way longer than I really wanted it to, and I had a family thing yesterday. Time is pretty killed, and I don't know if I'm gonna make it now. Like, I really don't know. Last weekend I was skeptical. Like, right now I'm about ready to just say I'm not gonna do it. Motivation is at an all-time low, my friends. I mean, at the very least, we got most of a wicked car assembled, but I don't know if I'll make Overcrest. So we'll see what happens. If I can make the dyno Friday, great. If not, figure it out later. Okay. I'm gonna put I'm gonna put the battery on and test what I've wired, and then I finish mounting stuff. We'll throw the dash in, and then hopefully we're gonna start working on this thing and have it in maybe by tonight.
Okay, so kind of gone as far as I can in here for now. Got the DCC controller mounted. I've ran the wiring to the middle. I mounted the G sensor right in the middle of the console. Hopefully the switches and everything that run wires that way all fit, but it's just the DC-CD stuff and the power windows. I'm really sick of wiring, and I keep getting like really dejected because stuff's just not working. I'm also wondering if I need to complete the power circuits to the car, so i.e. running the harness to the motor and everything, dealing with all that. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna prep this, quickly gonna take the intake manifold off, I'm gonna get rid of the inlet pipe, and then we're gonna start mounting and plumbing the turbo and getting everything ready to go in. I'm gonna try and swing it in today. unfortunately that's where it's gonna sit for now. Usually when you buy a clutch, it comes with clutch bolts. Apparently not ACT. Been in here better part of this weekend, lost a whole shitload of sleep, and I'm nowhere near where I need to be. And honestly, I'm about ready to throw it in. Not the motor, the towel. I'm ready to throw in the towel. I'm missing clutch bolts. Part of my dash harness is missing. I'm so over it. I'm tired and this is just not working out. So might be just time to say fuck it. Maybe overcrest next year, I don't know. Maybe we'll have a better car for it, but I really hate missing deadline. Putter around this week, but probably not gonna happen. So I'm gonna clean up and I'm calling it a night. Pick this up later, guys. Have a good one.
Look, that guy's an idiot. Hey guys, a few days later. It is Wednesday right now. I left you Sunday night where we ran into an issue with the clutch bolts. I didn't have clutch bolts because the ACT clutch didn't come with one. I didn't check. They did, however, include a bolt spec for the clutch pressure plate, which I'll get to in a minute. Compounding that issue, after I shut the camera off, I went to just, okay, I'll dry fit the clutch to the flywheel and see if it fits. Make sure the dowels line up. It did not. I don't know what flywheel I got, but this XD flywheel is not for an STI. And I should have known that because in past browsings on the internet, I noticed that, hey, STI flywheels are, they have standoff for the clutch. I don't have the right flywheel. Didn't know that at the time because I ordered another clutch and overnighted it before I found that out. I knew I had a 50-50 shot. I ordered an XD clutch and it did not fit the XD flywheel that I have. So my buddy Jamie overnighted me a look and we bolted it up with the wrong bolts, which I have the right bolts now, and the issue is solved. I'm gonna swap these bolts over tonight and this motor is finally going in that f***ing car. Tomorrow and Friday I have off. Was able to work some things around. I had some help from somebody very near to me. Dude, thank you very much. You know who you are. And I'm a free man. Free to be in the prison of working on the GC8 until it's done. I'm not sleeping for the next 2 nights, but you know what? It's gonna be worth it. This thing is going to get tuned Saturday morning. I pushed back a day so that I have more time and I'm gonna get this thing done. That's it. After that, we're going to Rensport. So I'm gonna stop talking and we're gonna get to work. An entire summer's worth of toiling It's blood and sweat. The motor is finally in this f***ing car. You know, honestly, getting it in there was not too bad. Easier with 2 people, but very manageable with just yourself. The only thing you really got to worry about is not nicking the edge of the clutch with the input shaft of the trans, and guiding the bottom studs of the motor into the bottom holes of the trans is kind of the difficult part. But I am deadbeat tired, and I've got a full day tomorrow. I'm confident that I have the hours to get this all finished. All the rest of the stuff in the car is kind of minuscule for getting it running. So basically it's plumb the rest of the motor, rear parking brake, drive shaft, fuel pump. Those are the major things. Tie up a few things, clean up, we'll be good to go. I'm gonna putter around, clean up a little bit, and look at a few things that I gotta order. And I will see you right back here tomorrow morning. So take it easy. And we're back. All right, big victory last night, getting the motor in the GC. This morning I'm working on clearancing some things to get the radiator mounted, and then I'm gonna work on tying up a bunch of wiring and hoses and getting the motor plumbed and hooking up the fuel. Well, just getting everything together. So kind of show you what I've been doing. This clearance standoff for the radiator, because that's way too close to the header. So I'm just going to lop off the end here, and then I can put this wiring through the bottom. We'll run the wiring on the bottom. These little guys on the radiator were hitting the header, so trim them off. Should give us some clearance. All right, next issue of clearance. This arm of the fan shroud down here, you can see it's actually resting on that header, and the wiring is touching, so that would all melt. So I think I'm gonna have to ditch the stock fans. No big deal, they're 50 bucks. And I think I can just get some Spall or like Performance World or something, just thin little fans that'll fit in there. 3-wire, 4-wire, whatever, and just make them work. It's after 11 now. Look at the engine bay. We're getting there. Whole bunch of stuff just fiddling around in here today, just trying to get everything to fit.
last day. Got a whole lot of stuff to do. I'm just gonna roll the camera. I'll explain everything later. I might pass out.
And that's about where the footage ends. I neglected to film very much, actually anything really at all, in the last day of working on the GC. It was absolutely hectic for me in here. Right after you saw me building that pedal bracket, I actually broke the gas pedal right off the mount, trying to adjust where the mount was sitting with it bolted in the car. I slipped off and I caught my arm on the pedal itself and it broke it out sideways, and I was almost ready to quit right then. For some of you that follow me on Instagram, you probably saw that part. Wasn't a good moment. Was almost ready to throw in the towel. Decided to just kind of chicken rig something together and get it done. And eventually I got another pedal shipped to Boost Barn, but I'll get to that later. It was nuts. I worked with AN stuff for the first time. I made AN lines for the fuel with dash 6 fittings and everything. I plumbed it to the radium fuel pressure regulator and fuel rails and FIC injectors. I ended up plumbing all the rest of the motor. My friends Eric and Matt came over. They put the exhaust in the car for me, hooked up the downpipe, did a couple other little nitpicky things, while I just kind of worked on putting fans in the car for the radiator, and I worked on a whole bunch of things just to get this thing ready to go to Boost Barn to get running, because I couldn't get the car running. I didn't have the ECU. I put a Link ECU in the car. I don't know how to tune. I don't have software. I don't know any of that stuff. And I'm not gonna brick a friggin' $10,000 IAG motor for, the sake of doing the first start on camera. I ran out of time. I ran out of space on the card I was using. I did not think to go get another one. I just was focused on getting the car done. So that's why there's no footage of me from that last day, but I will tell you that I spent from about 6 a.m. on Friday morning to 11 a.m. Saturday morning in here getting the car ready to go on the tow truck to go to Boost Barn and get ready to start up. So it was a thrash. I'll catch up with that in a little bit. This is the car getting picked up, and we'll turn around, come right back down here. I'll show you everything that we got done.
My window came down.
No, it was never fully up.
Oh, was it?
No.
Thanks, man. I'll see you down there. Bye, car. See you in half an hour.
See you in 2 weeks. Bye, car. See you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I'll see these f***ers tomorrow in these things, because we're going to, where are we going?
Rennsport.
Sick.
I've never been. What's that?
I think it's a sport of renting.
Do I look like shit? Because I feel like shit. Alright guys, I just dropped the car off at Boost Barn, or got towed, I should say. It's in capable hands of Aaron and Sebastian, the team over there. Really good crew. They went through absolutely everything. We're going to cover all the bases. The car is going to run excellent.
They're gonna do safety checks on everything. They're gonna smoke test and do compression and everything, just double check. And yeah, when we get back from Rennsport, in theory, we should have a running, driving GC8. There'll be a few more things to button up when I get back. Easy. I don't think we'll be able to paint the car, unfortunately, this time around, but you know what? It's gonna run amazing. It's gonna sound awesome, and it's gonna be solid. Very happy. I've been awake for roughly 30 hours now, so I'm basically heading home to clean, pack, do everything I can to stay busy and not fall asleep so that I can just pass out tonight, wake up bright and early tomorrow. Me and the guys are taking off for Rennsport, so this episode will be a little late because I have no time. I don't have time to edit. I don't have time to do anything except get ready to go. That week I lost being sick just really bit me in the ass.
And just like that, the car is back, even though you didn't really see it outside of here. Those last shots you saw, that was the day I went to Boost Barn, and that was the day before I left for Rennsport. I went to California with my friends for Rennsport Reunion 7. It was a really fun road trip to a really awesome Porsche-centric event at Laguna Seca. I'm really happy we did it, and that will be an episode coming out probably later in the month, as I'm just going to be busy going to Overcrest and getting this done, and I'm not going to have time, but you will see the action from that. It's going to be a really good video. I'm really looking forward to editing it. So went to Rennsport. The car went to Boost Barn. I was communicating with them while I was in California, and I'll show you everything they did, kind of. Ended up having a few issues with the fuel system. The radium pressure regulator was junk. The FIC injector hats were seized, and they couldn't test the injectors, and they couldn't test the fuel system properly, so they ended up using an air motive pressure regulator. They replaced the FICs with, I think these are 1050 injector dynamics. I can't remember, but new injectors with new TGV deletes because the other ones were pretty corroded and they didn't fit the injector dynamics injectors with the rails. They also checked everything over for me, which was really cool. I told them, like, hey, I'm new to this, so please feel free to give me a report card and check everything over, which they did. They installed this Grimsby blow-off valve because the one that I had was hitting the hood, right in the Subaru sign, actually, and so this one has better clearance. They wired up a map sensor, this map sensor, with an intake air temperature sensor, which runs to the old MAF. Went through all the connections and everything, vacuum lines and whatnot. They ended up having a problem where the brakes were full of air, and the night that Eric and I bled them, when we would get to the front caliper here, a whole bunch of air was always coming out. We bled it 4 times, got some pedal feel in it, but when Boost Barn kept trying to take it to the dyno, they bled the brakes and the pedal would go to the floor, and it just kept firing out air. So what they ended up doing was pulling the master. They bench bled the master. They got some pedal in it. Once I got it back, I spent some time going back through and bleeding again, and it's actually got some good pedal now. So I think it was honestly just, I had turned the car onto accessory a whole bunch with like open brake lines and stuff, and I think it filled this entire like ABS pump and lines and everything with air. So I think it just had a shit ton of air in the system and needed to be all fired out. But I think it's good now. They also had to uninstall the white line end links because the style that they are, they actually have an issue. It's a common issue I didn't know about, that they pop out. So they ended up zip tying the sway bar up out of the way while they were working on the car and moving it and stuff. And then I put the stock end links back in just to run it for this. And then I got Cusco end links on the way. They checked over everything on the car. They did a compression test. Everything looks good. They did a smoke test. Everything looks good. And they dynoed it. They also installed a Link ECU. Aaron is an excellent tuner. He knows Subaru inside and out. You can't see it because it's tucked away under my panel, but they installed a Link ECU in the car. They wired in the wideband O2 for me, and they put an oil failsafe on this, so if the car starves of oil, it'll actually shut off the car and save the motor, potentially, from any sort of harm, like smoke in the bearings or something. So if it runs low on oil or it starves the pump or anything like that, the pressure sensor that's wired into the ECU will sense it and it will shut everything down. So yeah, the car is tuned, it's dynoed. On my tiny little turbo, it's kind of disappointing, but I also expected it made 240 horsepower. I think it made 260 or 70 foot-pounds of torque, but its power band is like, it kicks in at about 2,000 RPM and the car is a rocket ship. I don't know what the loss was on the dyno and everything like that, but Aaron and Seb both told me like, you're just choking it down with this tiny turbo, which I kind of wanted. I wanted to start kind of low, work my way up. The turbo is maxed out, the engine is nowhere near maxed out, so it's safe. I can run it like this for a very long time. And what I would like to do is get used to the car, get everything developed and sorted out, and then we'll move to a VF or something a little bit larger later on. But you know what? The car is running. It's running good. The transmission and the diff are making like questionable noises, but you know what? I'm gonna run it anyways. I've come this far. I've got a long way to go still. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Right now it's Sunday. Before I leave for Overcrest, I'm leaving on Tuesday morning, potentially Tuesday afternoon if I have anything else to do, but I'm actually rounding the corner to the finish line right now. I'm just nitpicking away at stuff, taking care of little odds and ends, cleaning up the car, zip tying away everything that I can, making sure nothing's gonna fall off. And you know, it's been quite the journey. It's been quite the summer, and the first drive the other night, I took it out. I drove it home from Boost Barn with my friend Steven in the car, and it was a riot. The thing was so much fun. It was absolute death, but you know what? It's always been such a shit box, and it's just always been so much fun. It hasn't lost that essence, and I'm very happy about that. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna get back to work editing, put out this episode for you. You will see this just before I'm leaving. I'm actually gonna try and put it out for Monday, Thanksgiving Monday in Canada. It's just a regular Monday for my American friends, but after that, it'll be about a week and a half to 2 weeks before another episode comes out again. I'm sorry for the staggered distance between them, but I've just been really busy getting this thing ready and working, and it's been nuts. But you know what? We'll pick it up again. I got lots of footage from Rensport. I'll have lots of footage from Overcrest. I'm really excited to take this trip and finish this journey, or this chapter, with the car, and just get to enjoy it. So, thanks again for stopping by, everyone. I'm sorry for the delay in the episode, but it's gonna be worth it. As always, be kind, drive hard, and honestly, in like a day or two, I might see you on the road in Pinecone. Have a good one.